Retro.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the late afternoon glass off. As always, I'm joined here by my good friend Zach Whiteman.
Hello.
And as I've been made aware of, I actually forgot to introduce myself last time.
No one knows who you are.
No one knows who I am. My name's Finley. I surf. That's pretty much all I've got for you.
He's not giving himself enough here. Finley, community man. Everyone knows who he is. The nicest man in the lineup. He won't take your waves. So there's guys out there who will smile and then paddle up the inside. Finley won't do that. He's the guy you want to go surfing with. Great surfer. Runs a surf shop in Lennox. So he's out there patrolling the water and then he's making sure everyone's got what they need to go back out. So, mate.
Thank you.
You're selling yourself short.
Thanks for the kind words. But yeah, and also we're set up on socials now as well. So chuck us a follow on Instagram at the Largo Podcast.
A whole hundo followers in the first, 3 days?
I think it only took us 2 days. It's popping. 100 followers.
And thanks for the feedback.
Yes.
We got some good feedback. I think everyone's been kind. Like, yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah.
And they're probably going, how shit was that? But we'll get there. We're a bit rough, but I'm sure we'll get there.
We're going to get better, I promise you. But yeah, like I said, we've got a pretty stacked little thing going on today in terms of things to report. We're gonna kick back off with the final 5 of the top 10, if that makes sense. The seeds,
The recruits, yep.
the new recruits, then into our top 5s. Then we're going to do a little bit of pipe talk as well because that starts pretty soon.
That's coming up.
But We'll go straight into it. Seed 6, Miguel Pupo.
The MIG welder. I love it. I love that he's back.
Yeah.
I really hated it when he fell off.
Yep.
So love that he's back on there, and I think he's going to stay.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I really like his surfing, really smooth, amazing backhand. He charges too. He'll have a crack.
He does.
And he's got years of experience on the tour. He's been there, done that. So I think for me, he's 50-50. I don't think he's going to be up the top sort of in the top 10 or anything, but I think he's going to be more towards the back sort of in the teens, and I think he's going to make the cut. I think he's going to be all right.
Yep. And really love that he's come so far. Honestly, when he started, I was like, I don't think I like this guy's surfing. Over the years, as he's matured and settled into his seat there on tour, he's come so far. He's like the MVP, really. I haven't met him, but I've heard he's really nice.
Yep.
And yeah, he's one of the most liked people on the tour.
And it's almost like his career is sort of aligned with his dental work that he's had done.
100%.
So,
Miggy, I want to know who your dentist is because fucking hell, mate, they did a stellar job.
He had some chompers on him to begin with.
I know, and we don't mean it in a bad way. It's all fixed. It's done.
He's looking $1 million now. He ran the braces for a while, and it's come good. And I think as that's progressed, so is his surfing, and he's looking top notch. I think he's going to be there.
It makes sense. You're almost a little bit self-conscious.
Yes.
That might come into your surfing.
Yeah.
Now that he's got new teeth, it's new Miggy.
Yes, for sure. I like it. We'll go to seed 7, Joel Vaughan.
Yep.
First thing I wrote down for him, I've got a few little dot points here for each surfer.
Right.
First thing I wrote down was X Factor, and he's got it in spades. He has one of the most reliable air games I've seen. He sticks, like, as a percentage, it's very high. I don't want to throw a number out there, but he sticks most of the stuff he goes for.
Yes. There's one thing that seems to happen very often on the Challenger Series out of the Challenger Series into the CT is they do all this crazy surfing.
Yeah.
And then they think they have to reinvent the wheel on the tour.
Yeah.
And there is aspects. There's definitely aspects that need to be leveled up or changed. But I feel like Joel doesn't have to do that. I hope if I could just grab him over the shoulders, it's just, mate, whatever you're doing now, keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're already a CT surfer.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of crew, they go, oh, fuck, I'm in the big leagues now, and I have to be this completely different person.
Yeah.
And they don't really align to that person.
Yeah.
They kind of lose their way.
Yeah.
I really hope Joel doesn't do that because, like I said, he's already got the full kit and caboodle ready to go.
He's a full package.
Yep.
Just keep doing what he's doing. It's he charges. He's spent some time on some pretty heavy waves, some slabbing waves.
Yep.
He's going to have a go. I think the schedule suits him really well.
It does.
He is like his front side snap is, it's you kind of got to watch it to understand what I'm saying, but it's a click. The timing is perfect, and it's almost like a pendulum swing. Like he hits it, and it's the perfect tail release, and throws a lot of spray too. But it's so pleasing on the eyes to watch. I really enjoy watching him surf. And similar with Seed 8, another Aussie, George Pitta, who kind of became a bit of a revelation last year. Just came out of nowhere and seemed to be doing a lot of winning. In surfing, you do a lot of losing. He was making a lot of heats last year.
He was. I think George, for me, I was a little bit tough on him. I didn't love the style, but a little bit like Miggy, it feels like he's working into that.
Yes, for sure.
A little bit flicky for me at first.
Yep.
But now I feel like he must be squatting with Pete Roberts or something, because now he's starting to not just do those windscreen wipers that throw a lot of spray, they look more powerful.
Yeah.
So really like where he's at the moment. But yeah, truthfully, I was a little bit unsure at the start. Been watching his surfing. He did really well at Bells. Now I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. He had those two wildcard opportunities last year, and he took advantage of both of them. Really, the Bells, I feel like he got robbed that. He had Ethan in an early.
That's
round.
Always going to be a hard one.
Yeah, he had him in an early round heat, and look, to beat the guy who's everyone's favourite, you've really got to beat him. You can't just half do it. You got to smoke him, and it did. It came down to a very sort of moderate call at the end there, where it could have gone either way. It did go Ethan's way in the end, but I feel like if you watch the heat back, I do think George progressed, and then he went straight from that straight to WA and absolutely blitzed it. Third place finish, lost to John, which is pretty much like John's the guy out there.
If there's anyone to lose to, it's him.
It's him.
You're walking out there smiling.
Yep, definitely.
Yep. And that's just the experience for him.
Yeah, and also for him as well, he's like obviously surfed really well at Snapper last year, which is now a tour stop, so he's got experience there. And with Margs being the 7th event just before the cut, he's got experience there. So whereas guys that maybe are lower on the rankings are coming into that going, oh God, like I really need a result here, and this wave's like really difficult to surf. He knows he can surf there. And
fun fact, tell us about this. You've spent a lot of time over there, but he's got a little slice of paradise, doesn't he?
He does.
In Vanuatu.
He spent a big chunk of his life growing up in Vanuatu. Yep. They have a very, very nice island over there with a very nice right-hander off it. It's called...
Cheeky Devil's been doing warm-ups over there.
Yeah, it's called Eritat. And I don't think he'd mind me saying that because his family owned the resort there. So he...
let's push it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, look, it's an amazing wave. Vanuatu's not probably the most common place that people go on holidays to, but it's an amazing place. There's some great waves there. Can be a bit fickle, but this right-hander that he's got there is pretty good.
The best thing about Vanuatu and a lot of those islands in that kind of zone, you've obviously got Samoa and the Cooks and all that kind of thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, 3 hours from Sydney?
It's not far. It's
3 hours?
It's really not far.
You could almost leave in the morning and surf in the Arvo.
You fully could, yep.
Same as Fiji, all that kind of zone. So, yeah, if you're into scoping out new spots, like Finley said, I haven't been. You've been how many times?
I've been 2 or 3 now, so I've been a couple of times, and it's lovely. I love it over there, and I think it's formed him as not only as a surfer but as a person. He's a great bloke as well. And growing up on islands, you're really involved in the community. You know everyone, and I think it just leads to you being a good human, and he is. And that goes back to him and Joel. I think they're both going to have no issues with requalifying. I think they're both going to be there in the back half of the tour.
Yep.
We go then to a guy who I don't have that same view on. I actually really like this bloke, Edgard Gragia.
Yep. I'm glad you said his name, not me.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
I got a real soft spot for him because I've sort of been watching him on the QS the last few years, and he really wanted it, and I'm frothing for him that he got it. I don't have him staying on though. He's really one-dimensional. He's like, obviously anyone that makes a tour can do a turn. Like you can't make a tour without having the fundamentals down. He's really reliant on his airs though. And I just don't think, like, there's a couple of waves in that first half of the tour where you've really got to string a few turns together to get a score. Like, you can do one big maneuver at snapper, say, but they can't throw you down. Like, unless you do a backflip, they can maybe throw you down a 10. But, like, if you're doing a big full road on a section at snapper, it's probably going to get you about a 7 if you're lucky.
snapper's all about combination.
Yeah, he lacks a bit of flow, and it's a big component of the judging criteria too.
It's a big component at snapper.
Yeah,
because there's parts where it goes slow, fast.
For sure.
It's hard to read at times.
And it's the same with bells. It's going to be the same with the wave pool. I don't really think the schedule's set up for success for him. So I don't have him making the cut.
I'm gonna have to agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, the grog.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a no from me.
The grog monster's not doing it. Sorry, buddy. Seed 10, Jackson Bunch.
Jackson Bunch. I've been watching a few little clips, doing my research like probably everyone else is, because he's come from the dark, I would say. Maybe not if the Hawaiians, I don't think Hawaiians are listening to this, but if they are, they're probably not thinking the same. But for the rest of the world, I would say he's come out of nowhere. And insane aerial game.
Yep.
Great all-round surfer. Just, to me, looks young.
Yeah.
And I think the experience, I keep saying it, Finley, the experience here is going to be really difficult for him to find his feet early on, knowing there's a cut coming. Mm-hmm. I feel like if there was no cut, you'd be like, yeah, look, he's going to go okay. But that cut dawns on everyone as of this week.
Yeah.
It's going to be right there. Everyone's thinking about it. And whether he can carry that weight, I just don't see it. Not to say he doesn't rip, just thinking he needs a bit of time in the seat here. Yeah.
So you don't think he's going to make the cut?
I don't think he's going to make the cut unless all the waves are not forecasted like we think it might be.
Sure.
I think that's when anyone realistically could do well.
Yeah.
But if we are talking big margies or big bells, something like that, it's a no from me, sorry.
I actually am disagreeing with you there, and I like that I am, because it's good to have different views.
Love a challenge. Challenge me.
It's look, I've watched this guy surf a fair bit through the QS and the Challenger and all that. He has got an electric backhand snap. Similar to what I was talking about with Joel Vaughan before, with the timing and the spray. Yep. He's kind of got that, but on his backhand. Really quick, really sort of precise. I think the schedule actually lines up quite well for him to begin with. I think there's a lot of right-handers there, and he's pretty powerful for us. He's not very big, as you mentioned, but he's got a bit of power.
Question.
Yes, Zach?
How big is he?
I don't know off the top of my head. He's not a massive fella.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think if you can have that surfing.
Yeah.
But if it is 6 foot above, you need to have quads.
Yeah.
You need to be solid. You need to be tree trunky.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that doesn't really apply in my mind to big wave surfing.
Yeah.
And I think when someone has a really small stature, I'm guessing, I haven't seen him in a while in person.
Yeah.
I obviously watched him come through. When he was a Grom, he was small.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my brain just keeps going back to that.
Yeah.
But I feel like small surfers are at an almost disadvantage.
Yeah.
In big waves.
Yeah.
In big waves. And when you look at the first couple of events, if you get big bells, you get big margies, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So I'm backing him. I'm still going to say I think he makes a cut. I really like his surfing, and I'm gonna back him in. I don't think he's going to be one of these guys up in the top 10, but I think he's going to do enough to get into that top 22. And I think he's going to be right there.
Good on him if he does.
Yeah.
Good on all of them if they do.
And then just a little extra one here that we'll throw in, because it's all up in the air right now. We're still waiting on some cards to fall into their place, but it's looking like Gabby Medina's going to be out.
He tore the boob.
Yeah, going to be out for a good part of the season. So he's done his pec, he's had surgery, and this guy looks like he probably is going to get his spot. Yep. Again, there's a few cards to fall into place, but Al Cleland from Mexico, he's looking like he's going to be the lucky guy that just missed out, but he's going to sneak in.
Correct.
He is super powerful natural footer who he charges as well. He's going to, I think he might struggle on the tour just because the waves to begin with, you've got margies and pipe there, and sort of bells to an extent, but not really. But he's a guy that he's really powerful, so he kind of needs a wave to give him that canvas to show that on.
Yep.
And I just think his surfing goes a little bit amiss at places like Snapper and the like, where you have to sort of create your own energy sometimes, and it doesn't allow you to showcase that power. He absolutely charges, so I don't think he's going to have an issue at pipe, although the forecast again is looking a bit dicey. Still early days, but it's not looking great. He's going to be a low seed too, so he's coming in like 11th place technically on the Challenger.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to make it really difficult for him to he's going to have really tough heats to begin with. So I think I don't have him making the cut, but I think it's sick that he's going to get a crack. I don't know about you.
I think we spoke about it off camera around good old Alboy, and I think he could put a really good video part together at these events, maybe before and after.
Yeah.
I think in the Rashi, the Hooter goes, I just can't see him linking it together. He reminds me of like when Dane Reynolds was in an event.
Yeah.
Sick to watch. Was he really ever going to be in that staple set of guys just constantly pushing through, getting deep into the draw? I don't think so. Yeah. I get that vibe. Mikey Wright, similar.
Real Mikey Wright vibes.
Free surfer meets tour, doesn't gel properly. No one wants to say that he doesn't surf bad because they don't. It's just the environment that they're in. I just don't see him really taking advantage of the tour life.
For sure. But again, hopefully he can prove us wrong because he obviously wants to be there. He's done the Challenger. He competed in the Olympics too, so he obviously enjoys competing. He does have that free surfer sort of vibe to him for whatever reason. Maybe just through hanging out with Mikey a lot.
Yeah, I think he markets himself as a free surfer who happened to make some heats and then goes, oh, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I might as well keep going. And wouldn't anyone? I feel like even if you are a free surfer, if you had an opportunity to surf on tour, anyone would.
Yeah.
But also some news that just came out. We are looking like there won't be any Crosby.
Yeah, so Crosby's out too. That, again, is going to maybe open up another spot. It just depends on the nature of the injury and how long they're out for.
Correct.
So, basically, if they pull out for the entire season, they give it to someone who's on the QS. Mm-hmm. Whereas if they're just pulling out on an event-by-event basis, they give it to... say 23rd place who didn't re-qualify for the tour last year. Mm-hmm. They give them the injury wild card and it allows them to accrue points and potentially re-qualify if they're out for long enough.
Gotcha.
So it all depends on that.
And whispers of Ian Gentile getting back on.
Well, that's what he will be the benefactor of if it's just an event by event basis. So, but when you're that 23rd seed, you will generally get a look in because usually someone's injured. So.
Well, we've had two before we've even kicked off, so it's looking promising.
For sure. And then that pretty much that tops out the top 10 from the Challenger.
The rookies.
So
rookie, not so rookie for some of it.
Yeah. We'll go from that straight into our top 5. So these I don't.
Far out. If we get this, I'm going to eat my own hat on camera.
Look, it's kind of just a bit of accountability. So we're dropping these picks now. It's episode 2. The season hasn't even kicked off yet.
It's January.
Yeah, it's literally January.
It's going to be crazy.
And we're just dropping them, and we're going to see how we end up at the end of the year. I'll run through my men first, and then I'll give you a chance, and then we'll go into the ladies after.
Rapid fire, let's go.
So my top 5, I've got Philippe, John, Ethan, Yago, and Griff in there.
Saucy.
Now, John is maybe not going to surf the entire year.
Yeah, can you give us like a fucking yes or a no?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Imagine having the luxury of going, oh, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I'll see what the missus wants me to do or something. Like, are you serious, mate? Like, we're all itching to see him surf and everyone else is itching to be there and he's kind of tossing it up. That's like elite status, if you ask me. Yeah. That's goat shit.
He's doing what he wants when he wants, which is amazing to see. He's my world title winner. If he is not there, as in he pulls out and he doesn't compete in the full season, I've got our good friend Connor O'Leary sneaking in the top 5. I really think he's in for a big year. He's absolutely ripping. He's looking strong. Been training heaps as well. I think it's his year. And then if John's out, I've actually got Yago winning the title at Fiji. I really think he's in for a big year too. I'll throw it over you. Your picks.
Yeah, I've actually got Yago in there straight up as well. He's been around for a while now. He gets it. He doesn't need to prove anything. No. It's kind of now his time. First couple of years, it was kind of like, oh, is he going to stay or go? He's here to stay.
Yeah.
He's fucking ripping.
Yeah.
He's got it all ready to go. I feel like this could be the year that he really finds his feet and we may see him at the end and hopefully up the top end because such a nice dude.
Yeah.
I personally love him. He was the guy, I was obviously ranked 450th on the QS and he was around that top mark. He would always say, hey, Zach.
Yeah.
So for him to remember me for that, being number 450, just one of those guys that are like, hey, mate, like, how are you?
I
was younger.
Yeah, you're happy to see him do well. For sure.
I'm kind of rooting for him
Yeah.
to get up there. So go Yago, and then I got Griff.
Yep.
Griff in there. Again, he's proven himself now. He was the rookie for a bit, and I really love what he's doing at these events. You know, his mindfulness and stuff.
Yep.
I really feel like a lot of people go, "That's a fucking gimmick." Well, is it, mate? He's been there. He's doing it. He's fucking killing it. I don't think it's a gimmick.
It's working for him. So
Visualization. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Mindfulness. He's all into that. You should, if you watch the live before he's going out, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He looks like he is not even in this world.
he's in the 12th dimension. He's
Yep.
in another world. And
He figured out the Matrix. He found it. He's not telling anyone, but he's got it. So I've got Griff there.
Yeah.
And then I've got Philippe. I feel like Philippe's obviously had some time off to regather, do whatever he was doing, smashing out the creatine, I'm sure, because he sounds like he's really fit and surfing well. I think it's Philippe's time. You know, he's been there, but he hasn't been there.
Yep.
So maybe he's going to come back with vengeance.
Yeah.
I think that could happen.
I mean, he's won multiple world titles, so.
I know, but it feels like he's winding down.
Yeah.
But I think he might come back and just go, I'm not fucking winding down. Here I am.
Yeah.
Next one would be Kanoa.
Yeah.
Kanoa has had a semi-rough kind of go. I feel like he's due.
Yep.
He's due for some success. He obviously had the medal when it was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But WSL kind of success for the last couple of years, or year at least. I think he could do better,
Yep.
and he deserves to do better.
Yep.
So I feel like he will be up there in the end.
Yep.
And to finish off, Ethan.
Yep.
I just don't think you can not have him in there.
Yep.
With what he's doing at the moment, he just posted a clip at D-Bar, just him having fun. And it's like, if that's him just fucking having fun on the weekends, like, God help everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. They're in
So
some
you
trouble.
just got to put him in there.
Yeah.
Back to you for the women's.
Yeah, I'm going to run through mine real quick. I'm going to go with, so Katie Simmers, speaks for herself,
Yep.
just released a clip. Very, very good surfing in that clip. She's got levels that other girls don't have, and I think she just puts herself there. She's going to be there.
Yep.
Straight into Molly. Erin Brooks, a rookie who I've got winning the title. Steph will get there. She won't win, but she will
If
get
she
there.
surfs.
I think she's going to surf. She will be there because the event schedule sets up really well for her. So she'll be there. She won't win though. And then I've got Caroline Marks.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I like it.
Yours?
I think it's a safe one, but achievable as well.
Yep.
A few, not really any dark horses in there.
No,
I'd say.
look, I'm just going with the short favourites here.
Yeah. I think I feel like if I could look into the crystal ball, everyone's fantasy surfer for 2025 for the women's, the median age is going to be like 20.
Yep.
I think that's just the way it's going. So sorry for anyone who's not 20 on the tour, but all signs are pointing to the young'uns are just going to come in like a storm.
For sure.
And really shake up the tour. So in saying that, I've got Katie.
Yep.
Katie's going to be there. Don't know if she's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, but she's going to be there. Erin Brooks will be there as well.
Yep.
Followed by Steph. She'll push out the old average median age there.
She might, yeah.
I feel like she's going into this year like cruising.
Yes.
And that Rip Curl clip came out and she was cruising in that and she was fucking ripping. So I feel like that mindset can be deadly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be here. I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is like, all right, I got to put food on the table. I got to pay my Optus bill. I got to do this,
Yeah.
and I've got to show the world that I'm good.
Yep.
That's pressure. Mm-hmm. She's done that.
Yep.
She's got more than enough money, I would say, from her success through the years. So she's free as a dog.
She's doing it for the love.
Yep. Which is fucking scary
It's
if you
scary.
ask me.
Yeah.
I would love to see her at, really nice groomed long cloud break. Mm-hmm. She might not be, getting coned the whole way, but she's going to be doing some magical shit on there. So I've got Steph in there. Then I've got Brisa, almost my dark horse for the top 5.
Yep.
But she's always just there, I feel like. So I've thrown her in. And then I've got Tatiana West in there as well.
Nice.
I think the tour locations are going to suit her surfing really nicely.
She's going to be a threat in that top 5 if she's there at Fiji. She's gonna put her head down and go. So if there's waves, like, she's every chance. Who's your winner? Who are you going to throw down?
Oh, I'm going to go Taddy or Aaron.
Yep. Okay.
Just because they are go-for footers.
Yep. Give us one so we can...
I'm going to go Taddy.
Go Taddy because I'm going Aaron.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
Lock it in, Eddie. We'll
Lock it
see you in September. I think that's when it is.
Whenever.
Pretty sure it's September. Yeah. Late September, where you'll see me eat my hat. But yeah, that's it. That's the wrap up for the final five. Like we said, it's so far out. So many variables that could change there. We could look like absolute donkeys by the end, but that's it.
Well, Zach, it turns out we actually didn't have to wait until the end of the season to look like absolute donkeys, because in the less than 24 hours since we finished recording this episode, there's been a couple of huge developments. Most notably, John Florence and Stephanie Gilmore withdrawing themselves from the 2025 tour. They will play no part in any of the events this year. In our top fives, we both had Steph, so I'm going to swap her out with Tatiana, and Zach's going to swap her out with Molly. And on the men's side, it's actually not affected because I had an alternate team and Zach actually didn't pick John. So that's our updated top fives for the accountability stakes for this year. And then just to add to that, when we started recording SA, about 2 minutes before we took a look at the forecast, and me and Zach, we're not noted meteorologists, nor are we any good at surf forecasting. But we look at the colours on Surfline. They make it really easy for you. And what you want to see at any venue is green and purple. That means it's going to be good. What we saw when we checked it was yellow for the whole of the event window, which is not good. You don't want to see yellow. They were saying sort of 2 to 4 foot, really, really average pipe and backdoor. And then when we wrapped filming, we checked again, and the first 3 to 4 days of the window had a pretty significant upgrade. So they're actually looking pretty decent now. It's going to be saying 6 to 8 foot, which is more than enough for a good event at pipe. In saying that, it's not looking like it's going to be all time. And we just want you to keep in mind when you listen to the next segment of the podcast, we go through our fantasy teams. We sort of picked a team based on subpar conditions. We're actually both still pretty happy with our teams. It's not going to be all-time pipe and backdoor, so I think our teams are still going to be pretty competitive. We're not going to change anything we don't have to. The only thing I am going to change is I'm going to chuck Italo in for John, because he's obviously not going to be surfing. And I'm also going to be sneaky and throw Mr. Kelly Slater in my tier C, because I don't know if Zach knows if he's got a wild card yet, and he's my favourite surfer, and he's going to get a result at pipe, I'm sure of it. So he's going in there. And yeah, that's just a little update. So just obviously keep that in mind. The forecast has been updated. So in our next segment, just run with that. But we're happy with our team, so we're going to leave it. We'll get back to regular scheduled programming now. Yeah, sweet. And then from that straight into pipeline.
The bonsai pipeline.
We're nearly back. This off season's been tough. The NRL finishes, the surfing finishes. I don't know what to do. I end up just playing with my dog. Really, I don't really do anything.
You end up watching those like the simulated horse racing. It's like, if you're watching that, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they're not even real. And if you're screaming at it when it loses, that's even worse.
Can I just
some algorithm
clarify as well? I don't do that. For people that might think I do that, I actually don't.
Finley, this is a safe space. Righto, pipe. Back into the picks. Let's just, because we have broken down, the rest.
Firstly, we'll just touch on the forecast, because we've just before this episode started going, we had a quick look at the Surfline forecast, and it's a pretty broad forecast. It goes out quite some time.
As we're recording this, it goes to the 4th of February, and it is looking
no good. So yeah, look, it's actually not a great forecast, but hopefully there's some swell that comes in the back end. It's the Pacific Ocean. You never know. Like, there's storms appearing all the time.
Yeah, it's just a shame because it's been allegedly the best season so far.
Yes.
December, all the way through to Jan. So to see it fizzle is fucking heartbreaking.
It's right on script every year. Vans Pipe Masters gets waves. Backdoor Shootout gets waves. And then they go, all right, sweet, we'll kick off the world's best at pipe, and it goes. So look, it's
always happens when the Quickie Pro changed. Back when it was the Quickie Pro, they'd be like, oh, we're going to do it in, March this week, and then the previous week the same dates were cooking, and then the new dates had shit. So it's always going to happen.
And they used to have the Vulcan Pipe Pro, which would pump as well. And it's just they always seem they move the dates and they're chasing their tails. Like, it just feels like that. But hey, what can you do? It's the ocean. So not looking great. So we both actually picked our teams based on a pumping forecast, and we've had to adjust them. So we've both adjusted them. I'll run through mine first, and then I'll cut to you. Yep. In my tier A, so if you're not familiar with the WSL Fantasy format as well, and while I'm at it, join our league. So
join up.
There's gonna be prizes. We're not saying what they are yet, but there will be some for the winner overall. It's called the Largo Podcast.
And there's already fucking people in there. I was shocked. I fell off my camp chair when I went, far out, people listen to us.
Yes.
So thank you for the crew that are already in there.
Yeah.
It's new to me as well. It's my first year on the fantasy whole program, so I'm learning as well. Hopefully we can pick them.
Yep. So it's called the Largo Podcast. That's the league name, and the password is just Largo, all in caps. So join that. For those that aren't familiar with this setup, you basically have tier A, tier B, and tier C, and it just breaks the surfers into like sort of the top 8, and then it's like the middle crew, and then
I think
back
likelihood,
crew.
right?
It's just like who's sat where, and then you pick based on that. So you're not having you can pick based on where they're ranked, and then that resets every event. So but how the rankings go, they change it.
Gotcha.
So for my tier A, 2 surfers, these guys I had in my pumping team when the waves are going to be cooking, hopefully. And since reading the forecast, I did not change them because they are the 2 best guys out there in the draw. And if it's sort of 2 to 4 foot or 8 to 10 foot, they're both going to be really good. I've got John Florence and Jack Robinson. They can find a pit.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm not going to challenge it. That's a pretty safe bet.
And generally, when pipe is small, it tends to lean towards more, you go and ride it backdoor.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just, the right seems to hold up a bit better. Then moving into tier B, this is where a bit of movement happened in my team. Obviously, I had some real pipe specialists or some big wave guys in there. I've adjusted that based on the forecast. So I've actually thrown Philippe in there. He's had some really good scores out pipe over the years, just not when it's big. When it's smaller, he's had some really impressive rides out there.
Makes sense.
He's going to be in there. And also, if it gets to the point where they have to run in some really marginal surf, he's going to punt. So
he will.
Yeah, he's going to do well. Another one, Kanoa. He's another sneaky guy that he performs when it's small out there too. He had a second place to Michelle Perez at one of the years previously, and the way it was just looked really fun backdoor that I'd want to get involved with. I was like watching it just frothing. He went really well that year, so I'm going to lock him in. Barron speaks for himself, similar to John and Jack. He just will find barrels. That's just what he does.
Yep.
He's going to be fine. And then another one which I've picked, and I don't normally pick this guy, but when it's a challenging forecast or when the waves are a little bit neither here nor there, this guy, he pops his head up quite frequently, and it's Leo Fioranti, the Italian surfer. He is a really good just manufacturer of scores. He can just get it done. So I've thrown him in there, and I like that pick actually. And then my tier Cs. So these are the guys that re-qualified last year in the back end of the rankings, or they qualified for the tour.
So you
got a business call? I'll keep going.
No. Sorry for the interruption.
So these guys, all the rookies, they are. So I'm going to go with Joel Vaughan and Sammy Pupo. Joel I mentioned it earlier, his airs are amazing. So if it's marginal, he will punt as well. Can find a pit, and pretty much same with Sammy. Like they're both, their strengths are pretty similar. Like they're really good at airs, and they're both sneaky, and they'll both get scores. So that's my team and my power surfer. So that's the other rule. You pick a bloke and a woman who you give two times the points to.
Double whammy.
John, easy, picks himself. And then I'll run through my ladies, and then I'll pass it over to you. So I've got Katie Simmers as my tier A. I've got in tier B, I've got Betty Lou and Molly. And then I've got Erin Brooks in my tier C, who I think will be a shot at winning the event. So you've got to have it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so hard to know with this forecast.
It is.
It's like completely different. If it's 2 to 3 foot, like it's saying it's going to be, versus 10 to 12 foot.
It's 2 completely different teams. pretty
Yeah.
much. Apart from like the top guys, you're picking 2 teams.
From tier, what is it, A,
Yeah.
that could probably stay, but everything else is dicey at that point.
Yeah.
Quickly go through mine. I've got Griffin Colapinto
Yep.
in tier A.
Yep.
I've actually spiced him up to ×2.
Ooh.
I think he could really do really well, either when it's big or small.
Right.
I feel like he's kind of got that dialed in. Tier A as well with him is Italo.
Nice.
Especially when it's small, I feel like a lot of people get stuck waiting for a wave that's not coming.
Yep.
Whereas he, well, we all know he's just going to be like a cat on a hot tin roof, just trying to find everything and anything that moves.
Pipe Master, I also struggle to leave him out of my team because when it is small and it is backdoor, I don't know if you've seen the wave that he grew up on. It's it's not backdoor, but it's a small right hand sort of point next to rocks,
Right.
and it pits, and he tucks himself into the tiniest little barrel in his backhand. He's got such a good backhand technique, so if it's backdoor, it's not going to be an issue for him.
Yep.
Front side, back side, really good at airs, so great pick. I struggle to leave him out, but I just couldn't go past Jack and John.
No, that's fair. Fair. Australian tier B, Felipe Toledo. I think, like you said, this was based off small waves, so I threw him in there. He's going to be pretty lethal.
Yeah.
Kanoa, I feel like Kanoa can do both a little bit, whether it's big or small.
Yeah.
So I threw Kanoa in there. Yeah, boy, Conor O'Leary.
Nice.
It's going to be his year. He's got a little Grom coming as well.
He does.
So
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, congrats, mate. It's so good to see him and Steph. You know, addition to the family. They've already got the dog, but you know, it's so good to see him branching out and creating a family there. So if he really does, you know, have a great year, I feel like he's just going to get the full package.
Full dad energy,
He's just going to be on top of the world, cloud nining. So
sick.
I've got him in there as well as Cole.
Cole Houshman.
Cole Houshman, a little bit of a dark horse here, but when it's small, he rips.
Yeah.
And if Pipe's got like a turn section, he's just going to be doing those like half layback carves.
Yeah.
And he puts kind of his arm back and just sends lots of water out the other end. I reckon he's got those on tap, and lethal backhand as well. So I feel like if they are going right, he's just going to be tagging the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Tier C, Sammy Pupo, he's probably going to do some backflips. And then followed by that, I'm actually really, really keen to see how he goes. I semi-rode him off before. Jackson Bunch, he's at home, and he's really good at doing airs.
Yep.
And I'm guessing might be a little bit windy, so he's probably going to be utilising that strength.
He's not going to be scared to hit any of those sections, is he?
Correct. Straight into women's, got Taddy. I got Taddy boosted up, double 2. I reckon she's going to take that out, whether it's big or small.
Yep.
She's just really well at reading the lineup there.
Yep.
Molly Picklum, I'm unsure, but I threw it in there just because. Backed up with Tyler Wright. She's done well before in subpar conditions, so I just threw it in there.
Pipe Masters does have a little bit of an asterisk next to it, and we're going to get pretty similar conditions to that one.
Exactly why I threw it in there. I just recapped and watched it and went, oh yeah, I'll throw that in there.
Yeah.
Erin Brooks in Tier C. I feel like it's going to be hard not to put her in any event next year, so I threw her in there.
If she's in Tier C, you've just got to pick her.
Yes.
She's so good.
Yeah.
You just have to chuck her in there.
Exactly. But noticeably, no Katie in there.
Yes. Okay.
I'm feeling she's going to warm up to the 2025 tour and then just scream at home.
And then get going.
Rather than win it. And, you know, she won it last year, so I feel like you can't. It's very unlikely to win a world title and then go straight into the first event win.
Yeah.
I feel like. So that's my Lexus Pipe Pro wrap up.
Perfect. And I don't think I said my ×2. It's on Molly right now. There's every chance that changes. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's probably going to change. Apologies if I did say my thing before, but I don't think I did. Yeah, look, that's. We'll leave it there. Join, like I said, jump in the league. There will be some prizes for the winner, and just take us on.
And you get to watch me eat my hat later on.
Try and beat us. That's the thing. It mightn't be that hard. We shall see. And then you've got a couple sort of like little news bites for us that you've sort
A few things have happened this week.
Yeah, run us through them.
A few things. Firstly, for anyone who likes to watch surfing, which I'm guessing is most of us, few premieres, things to look out for coming by some up-and-coming surfers as well as some established surfers as well. So pretty, I would say it's a mix of people, which is good. Diverse was what I was going for. Sorry for pausing.
Good word.
The best one though for me, and it's a little bit of bias because he's goofy footer, was Chip. His movie was sick. It's called Chip. That is Jacob Wilcox, if you're not sure. Almost like cinematic.
Yeah. Bit of a storyline.
It's not like, I feel like a lot of people get caught up with just going, here's a bunch of fucking 20 waves over a song, upload to the internet. Yeah. This one felt like it's properly done. There's some of Chip, talking and actually providing insights to about how he was feeling mentally, which is cool to see. Shot all around the place, great parts out of WA, him pulling into some absolute cones up north.
Yeah.
I have heard he's one of the best out there as well. He kind of rules the roost. That was one of my standout clips. So get around it, just kind of premmed. So it's live now. You can watch it. It might be on Stab
It's on
Premium.
YouTube, I think. I think you can watch
it on YouTube?
I think so.
Sweet. Yep. So get around that. Well done to the boys who made that one. Big bravo there. Bit of a dark horse, and for the guys who live at Burleigh, they'll know this. They'll love it. But Hinata Izawa, just about to drop one. Okay. He just premmed his clip at the Burleigh single fin before Chippo did.
Yep.
And Tommy Cruz whipped this one up. It's fucking sick.
It's good.
Arguably, there's a few other people that I'm probably going to bring up soon that are close to taking this title, but the most piped person in 2024.
He's sneaky, yeah. He gets pitted.
The clips in this, I was like, where is that? What has he been doing? And holy shitballs, Hinata can get shubed.
For sure.
There's some crazy, I think it's only the one wave. Would have loved to see a bit more, but Big Island. And I'm talking like that left. I have no idea what it's called, but he's packing some big cones there.
Yeah, right.
Also, Japan. He went to Japan and managed to find, I'm guessing it was Typhoon Swell.
Yeah.
Because it was sick.
Pumping?
Yeah.
True.
And I really just didn't see it coming. Like, I clicked it like, oh yeah, I'll watch this. Hinata's good lad and surf's good. And I walked out of this going, whoa.
Yeah, okay.
The boy got coned. So yeah, look out for that one. Morgs has got one coming.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be live by the time we all drop these out. But it's everything you would expect from Morgs. Just clean, surfing, beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones as well. Didn't top his last one, Postcards from Morgs. I don't think that's going to be a hard one to beat.
Yeah, that was great.
Absolutely love that film.
That was really good.
So good. And then I recently caught up with Fraser DeVell.
That's a name, haven't heard in a minute.
Mate, I love him. If you're listening, Fraser, fucking Lord.
Yeah.
Caught up to him. He's got some stuff in the works as well. That'll be coming out.
Sick.
If you don't know, and I didn't know, I was like, man, what are you doing? Like, haven't seen you in so long. He's doing like luxury landscaping for like proper big properties.
No way.
They're flying him to Perth. He's going up north. He's going everywhere else. I feel like he's going to be with Better Homes and Gardens or some shit soon because it sounds like he's doing some really cool shit. So tip the hat to you, Fraser. Well done, mate. So it's good to see you drop the shovel and actually go get some clips.
Definitely. He must be doing it right because, like I say, got a bit of time off to now go film and shoot and get some clips. So
yeah, and he's fucking ripping too.
Perfect.
Good on you, Fraser. Jai Glinderman is about to drop a clip very shortly. That'll break the fucking internet. You heard it here first.
Okay.
I've had a look. It's pretty mental.
Excited.
This clip, everyone knows that Jai is really good at style and, calves and down calves, and he's famous for that. This clip goes, he's got a mango sack on him. Like, he is charging. He's charging. He goes to Fiji, and some of the shit that comes out of there is just like, I didn't really expect it.
Yeah.
Because when you see him surf, it's so graceful.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh no, here I am on a huge board, and it's huge and it's macking. Incredible to watch. Super incredible to watch.
I'm excited for that. That'll be
look
sick.
out for that one because, it's going to really break the internet. We are going to do a cheeky premiere in Lennox, I believe.
Nice.
So for all the locals, stand by for details. So that'll be cool to round up everyone. And then the Beagle, we're about to drop the Beagle. What day is it now? Tuesday. I think it drops tonight on Billabong on our YouTube.
Sick.
It's been playing on Stab Premium, so some crew might have already been around this. But
I've watched it. It's mental. It's
some
psycho.
of the shit he gets down home is insane.
He's a nutter.
And he just stands there. Like, there's a shot of him coming through it, like, and it's like the camera's looking down into it, and he's just like cruising.
He's so
Doesn't look phased.
he's unassuming, because you see him, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. Like,
Nah.
he's just like, pretty standard size, and
Same as a beagle, standard size, not big or small.
For sure, maybe hence a nickname. But he just, you see him, and you're like, there's no way that's you going these ways. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, that's ridiculous.
But he's got the full kit here.
Yes.
I think this clip will make him a household name.
Okay.
And on the back of a great result already, which we'll go into.
Yes.
It's got tubes at Chopes.
Yep.
He's ripping an Indo, doing some crazy airs and throwaway kind of flick punt things, whatever you want to call them. Throwing himself into some crazy ones down home. So it's got it all. Look out for that one.
Yeah, right.
And just to finish up real quick, Katie Simmers just dropped blouse.
Yes.
Insane.
That's
Insane.
Great clip.
I showed someone today, actually. I was like, hey, how's this air that Katie did? I think it was at Cobblestones.
That straighty?
Yeah.
Nuts.
And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not even close to doing that.
Yeah.
So what she's doing, so good for women's surfing. So
Pushing it.
I've actually got a big call to make. I'm calling Katie Simmers will be the most marketable surfer this decade.
Okay. I like it. It's a big
Huge call, but I just think she's got so much push behind her, and I feel like whatever she's going to touch, say, create, everyone's going to want it.
See.
And I'm pretty sure she produced most of that clip, or she has like input into it.
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
Yeah, okay.
It's her. I just think she's going to be super marketable.
Yeah, beautiful.
So that's all the prems. Get around it. Lots to look for. Lots to watch. So
What
jump on.
Zach lacks in, like, sort of your historical knowledge of the WSL, he picks up with his current knowledge of happenings. He has to be all over it, so he's going to be just dropping little diamonds like that in there, giving you guys some content to watch as well. And then we'll touch on as well, World Juniors just went down. Look, it was pretty incredible surfing all the way through. Our man Lennox, massive showing from him. It was sick to watch. He, 2 or 3 heats in a row, needed a big score. He was on the ropes, and he provided when he needed to. The final, he fell just short. He came third. The final was incredible too. Had Winter Vincent and Bronson Meady in there. Both just ripped the lid off it. I think Winter lost with like a 17-point heat total.
It was huge.
It was massive. Like, you'd feel ripped off, but just Bronson was... They dropped some scores in that final. I think Winter got a 9, but on the wave behind, Bronson got a wave that you almost had to give a 15 to. Like, it was insane. I'd said to a few of the lads, like, it's almost lucky that the scale only went up to 10 for him, because it kind of kept him in the heat. But the Winter's 9 and Bronson's 10 were just like Bronson. That again, it was a 12 to 15. Like, that's how good this wave was. 2 huge airs. Tell us about Macklin Flynn though. He is a guy. He's an Aussie, and he had a bit of a story on his travels over there.
Yep. So obviously Huey Vaughan in a warm up broke his toe.
Yes.
Out of the event, which was such a shame, because that was going to be an event where I think he could really showcase his surfing. Obviously predominantly rights and super rippable.
Yeah.
He was going to go insane. There was obviously a really last minute call up to a bunch of surfers. A few couldn't get there, and then Macklin said, "Yep, I'm on the way," and pretty much went there within a moment's notice. Dropped everything to get there. Boards didn't turn up. Now, I don't know if you've been on a surf trip or any trip and your boards don't turn up. It's a shit feeling.
Yeah.
And everyone will know when you ride. You can ride my board and I can ride your boards, and they could be pretty similar. Just doesn't feel right.
We've done this. We swapped boards.
You look down and you just go, it just doesn't look like familiar territory. No. So he did really well with what he had. But the crazy story out of this was his boards were hand delivered in an armoured vehicle by the president or vice prime minister, whatever they're called over there in Philippines, son.
Yes.
Drove it 6 hours in an armoured vehicle and said, "Here's your boards, brother." Is that not like the craziest shit ever?
It's pretty sick. Like,
That's incredible.
He's just a fan of surfing, right? And he just went, this boy needs his boards.
I think he was a little bit, a big fan of surfing, obviously, and then probably a little bit ashamed that he's in my country and I'm obviously this status, and his boards didn't turn up, and he went, I'm just going to fix it.
Yep. If you want something right, do it yourself, as they say.
I would hate to be in the airline when they just see the phone ring and go, hello, who's this? And he says his name, just drops it, and they just go, oh, shit. But yeah, crazy event. I think one of the most enjoyable events to watch in history, period. CT, QS, whatever it was. It was just Groms going fucking insane.
Nuts. Yeah.
One after another.
And even more so for you as well, Billabong team manager, you had first in the men's, you had first in the ladies, and you had third place in Lennox. Like,
clean sweep for the Bong team.
Pretty good showing for Bong.
It was really cool, really cool. But yeah, like I was saying, that was one of the most progressive events. Like, for crew to be doing 2 airs on one wave and the 2 airs separately, crazy. Not like Italo at the Final Five trying to do 5,000 things at once and doing some flat air revs. They were proper
nuts
air revs with variation.
For sure.
Slobs, you know it.
Alley-oops. But Bronson threw out an alley-oop.
I just don't get it.
Like, it doesn't... he was almost like he was cheating at times. You're just like, you've taken off on a closeout and you've got an 8 on it. You've done one move and it's like, you have to give it because it's just impressive.
But not even Bronson. Obviously Bronson. But Winter was doing crazy shit. Leno was pairing individual turns as a combination that I was going, I'd be happy with.
Yeah.
I feel like for anyone, they're definitely not listening, but the CT guys, take fucking note. Stop doing some cookie cutter shit on the tour. We know you rip. Start doing some of that shit because these 20-year-olds are making you look shit.
Yeah,
that was just an event where you couldn't stop watching.
Yeah.
Another thing was it was super consistent. Yeah. So they were getting lots of waves and whatnot.
For sure. And Lennix posted on his Instagram this week that it was, if not the best moment of his life, one of the best moments of his life. And we actually caught up with him during the week just talking about sort of his event, how he was feeling, and just basically just grinding the axe when he had to and getting scores. So we're gonna leave it there, guys. Thanks again for listening. And we're gonna cut to a little chat with Leno.
Yeah.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Leno, how are we?
Yeah, Zach, how's it going?
Good, man. You just got back, what, today?
Yeah, just touched down in Ballina.
Sick. How was it, man? How was it? Did you get a couple?
Yeah, well, come away with a pretty good result. Big third, so yeah, pretty wrapped on that.
Mate, you can say you're the third best junior in the world right now. That's fucking sick.
Yeah. Winter's the second best in the world, and I'm the third best. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then Bronny getting the win too is pretty sick.
Yeah, then Big Bronson, who took me down the semis, got the win in a crazy final. Craziest final I've ever seen in real life.
Yeah, I was saying to Finley today, it's probably one of the best events I've actually watched. Better than some CTs.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you should have seen how crazy it was, like, being down there on the beach when Bronson got that 10. It was actually, like, the most craziest thing ever.
Sick. And you got a pretty late call-up, huh?
Yeah, I was the last wild card to get a call up, and I pretty much got the call up and packed my stuff and left the next day. So full late call up, had to go all the way from Goldie to Sydney, then Sydney to Manila, and then big 5-hour drive to get there. So it was a full mission.
Yeah, no, it sounded like a mission. Who gave you the call? Who did the honours?
Kai Ferrati. I don't know what they call him, but he works for WSL.
Yeah, sick. And I saw a little clip. You were kind of, obviously it was super last minute. What were you able to get for equipment? Did you go see, JS and go steal a couple boards?
Yeah, well, I rang Pete Rees, the Surf and Oz coach, and I was like, what's the wave like? I literally have no boards for anything really. And he's like, it's a fat right end point like bells. And I was like, yep, sweet. So I just rang Sammy Subovic up from JS and said, got a wild card. I need a board ASAP. And he's like, yep, come in. I got one for you. And I actually didn't even end up riding the board that he gave me the whole time because it was like 6-foot closeouts. But yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, sick.
But,
So what did you end up riding? What model?
I just rode my normal like 5.9 go Monster 10. I actually had it on ice. I hadn't rode it in like
Oh, you had a
4
little.
months.
You had something special waiting for a special moment. You got to use it.
Yeah, fully had it on ice, and then I just whipped it out, dust the cobwebs off, and straight out there.
Yeah, sick. And that was your first time, obviously, to that wave. You spent some time at Cloud9. What
Yeah.
was the wave like? Was it fun or was it kind of shit? Was it grippable
Um,
or fat? Like how kind of was it?
I think like the best thing about it was how many waves it was like breaking. There was heaps of opportunities, so that was like the best thing. It was definitely like super fat, but like stretched out. So if you like fumbled one bit and like it was like going down the line, you cooked. So you had to be like really onto it the whole time. But you know, like it was a pretty sick wave for a comp. Like definitely surfed way worse waves. So it was
Yeah,
good. You know, warm water, good weather. So can't complain.
yeah, sick. And there was a couple of heats there where I think a few of us kind of wrote you off for, not going to make it, and then you come back swinging. Talk us through those.
Yeah, like I actually don't even know what happened because like that for what the situations that I was in, for me to like to get an opportunity to even like, because I was actually like after pretty big scores, especially in my quarter, I needed like an 8 or something, and it was like both my round of 16 and quarters, I did the exact same thing, left it to like the last minute to get a score, and ended up doing it in both heats, and yeah, pretty crazy. It was actually like when I was in the round of 16 heat, it was literally that fired up to just get it in the last minute, and then just to do it again in the next heat was that tab. That was like one of the biggest wins for me ever, I reckon, and it was only a quarter.
100%. And I think the best
Yeah,
part from my end is you didn't just kind of like scrape through, you fucking belted it. And
yeah,
it's kind of like double claim. I think for you to claim, it means something, and it was worthy of the claim. I think, you see heaps say like someone's just done 15 head snaps to the beach and they like just get the score, but that was just like the most solid way to finish. It was fucking sick.
yeah. I was tripping like, yeah. I don't claim ever. And I was just that pumped up. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw my hands up anyway.
Yeah, no, I
Cheers,
don't
so
blame
much.
you. I've got to be honest with you. We were in the office and we were watching, and 40 seconds to go, I was like, oh, fuck, I had Leno winning this thing. And Tommy Cruz right next to me goes, he looked at me like I'd killed someone. He's like, don't fucking give up on him yet. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not. But, he doesn't have priority. And, and then you went that one, I think Luke Thompson heat, was that the one?
Yeah. Luke
40
Thompson
seconds to
heat.
go. And I was like, oh, that's such a shit one. They're like, he looks at me again and slapped me and he goes, mate, you can fucking do it. And then sure enough, you fucking do it. So I look like an absolute for giving up on you. But so I do apologise for that. And thank you
Yeah,
for proving me wrong.
mate, I cannot believe you gave up on me. You're the only one.
Never again. Never again.
Yeah, like, yeah, honestly, like that is the craziest thing to ever happen to me, I reckon. Like, especially being like, I only had one score in that heat, and the rest, I just surfed the shittest heat, and Luke started off really good, and then backed it up really well, and he had like two high sevens, and I had like a mid-range 7, and I needed pretty much needed an 8, and then 40 seconds ago, he had prio, and I didn't. And he had prio for like a good 9 minutes, and I was just like, fuck, just give me something, please. And then when they said 2 minutes, I just was like, oh, like, I just need one wave, like, just at least have a crack. And the wave that I got, like, Luke was looking at it, and it honestly looked like the shittest wave.
It
And I was
did.
like, you know what? Like, fuck, I'm just going to go anyway. I got no priority, so whatever. And I stood up, and I literally said to myself, like, oh my God, I can't believe I just freaking lost. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just surf it anyway. And then I did that snap, and then I was like, fuck, hang on a second, like it's doubling up. And then I was like, oh my God, like it's a full section. I just raced and just did that air. And as soon as I hit the lip, I just knew I was going to make it. And then I
How
rode
good's
out
that?
and I was like, yes, like I freaking did it. And then like looked up and I was like, oh shit, the wave's not done yet. Had to get back to work and finish it off with a little cherry on top. And yeah, come in. And I actually didn't even know what I needed. I was like, running up the beach, like saying like, what did I need? What did I need? And then Kersey ran down. He's like, you only needed like a 7.8, and I was like, fuck yeah, like I got it. And he's like, yeah, mate, you got it. And then they took so long to tell me the score, and then when I read it out, I was just I was almost crying. I was just so pumped, like. It was the sickest thing. Had me dad and Pete Dunk there, and I was just like hugging him, just like fuck yeah. Like,
That's like a win in that self. I know it would feel good to win the whole thing, but fuck, that felt like a win for everyone.
yeah, so fuck. It was pretty crazy feeling, and like all the messages and stuff after of everyone just saying like they couldn't believe it. I was just that frothing. Like it was the best shit ever for me.
Fucking oath. I wonder how Luke was feeling after that.
Oh, he's one of my good mates, and like it's just one of them things like you just fucking cannot. If when you're in that situation, you can't let anyone go wave. Like there was gonna be no wave after that. Like you just gotta go, just being smart, and he didn't. And yeah, at the end of the day, like fuck, it was a shit wave, and then it eventuated into that. So it's like
You
I see
can't
why he didn't
you
go.
can't give
But
the beagle an inch. He'll take a mile.
mate, don't let me out of the freaking dog box.
He'll fucking learn now. He's gonna go every
Yeah,
wave from this point onwards.
yeah. Oh, fuck it.
Sick. That was so fucking cool to see. And the best part was we got the score before you did, so we got to celebrate twice by us finding out, and then we saw you and you didn't know, and then we got to watch you guys fucking hurrah, and
Yeah.
it was pretty sick. So big well done, mate. Now Philo's pretty spicy place, and did you get any dicey food? Did you find yourself on the can, or you dodged that bullet? You felt good over there?
Yeah, dodged a pretty big bullet over there. We actually stayed at a real nice place, so we scored on that end, and yeah, when the comp finished, we yeah, all the boys celebrated. It was sick. Had a hell time,
Yeah, sick. Fucking love it. How many Red Horses did you drink?
mate. We were absolutely smashing them. It was that good.
And they're
We had
solid beers too, so I'm sure there would have been a few hangovers for the boys.
oh yeah, mate. I'm still recovering now.
Fuck yeah, brother. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And keep the ball rolling, son.
Yeah. I'm just like just all the messages and support and stuff from everyone's been crazy. So I'm just wrapped on that, and yeah, keen to fire up again.
Fucking oath, son. Righto. Well, I'll speak to you soon, and I'll see you in the water.
Yeah, see you, boss.
Rightio. Bye.